Hi, I'm Lara Jacobowitz, and this summer I was placed in two different labs. So I was in a plant science lab and also in a social science lab about communication. In the plant science lab, I was looking to characterize two different genes, the WOX4 gene and the CLE41 gene. They're both believed to be involved in vascular differentiation, but we're trying to find a more specific role for them. So what we did was we grafted the wild type and the mutants together. So we have double mutants and also heterografts between the mutant and the wild type tomatoes. And then we harvested the grafts and imaged them, and we looked at the vascular connection in them in both the confocal microscope and also in bright field. And we saw that the characterization was not quite what we expected. We expected there to be complete xylem disconnection, so we believed it to be involved in specifically xylem differentiation. But we saw there's some disconnection here, so these like round spots are xylem disconnection, but it wasn't consistently disconnected. And similarly with CLE, we also saw some disconnection in xylem, but not super consistent. Some of them connected fine and seemed to graft successfully, even though they would eventually fail if we hadn't harvested them. So that was one project. The other project I did was in the science communication lab, and I was looking at people's perceptions of GMOs and their health impacts. Because GMOs have been around since the 80s, they've been commercially available since the 90s, and this big report in 2016 came out saying they are healthy. Despite that, the number of people who aren't approving of GMOs or find them to be unhealthy has increased since then, and about 51% of Americans find them to be unhealthy. So what I did was I went to the Ithaca Farmers Market and I surveyed a bunch of people about their opinions on GMOs, and I asked them what they find to be unhealthy about them, what their concerns are. And what I found in this survey was that a lot of people don't really understand GMOs. They don't have a good, they can't define it well. They don't know the science behind it, which is understandable. They also confuse conventional breeding a lot with GMOs, which they are not included in genetic modification. And then when asked about their concerns, some people had specific health concerns, but a lot of other people did not have specific health concerns. They're just concerned in general. They find them to be scary. Just the novelty of them is alarming. And also people didn't trust the system behind it. So they thought there's not enough research into the safety of GMOs, or that there isn't good labeling, even though labeling is mandatory in the US at this point. And then the specific health concerns people had were regarding cancer, obesity, neurological disorders, or different growth issues. But not that many people had specific concerns. They're more just concerned in general. And then when asked about their shopping preferences, some people say they avoid GMOs completely. Some people found them to be unavoidable. But then there were people say they shop for them. It's fine, despite maybe having some apprehension towards the health and safety of them. So in terms of future research, we want to look into more of people's concerns, collect data from other environments, not just the farmers market, and dive deeper into it. And then to bring the projects together, connect the general public with scientists to say, these are what GMOs are actually. This is how we're used, this is how we're made in science, because our mutant in the lab was made with genetic modification. So bringing them together and having this dialogue, say, the scientists say, here, they're safe, and people say, these are concerns, can you do more research? And having the scientists follow up and creating that open dialogue to bring it together.
Well, you did a great job. Do you think going forward, you're going to try to integrate science communication and molecular research further, or do you like one or the other better?
I really liked having that communication aspect and doing that outreach. Instead, I like to take things out of the lab. I think that as much as science is great in the lab, if it never leaves the lab, it's kind of pointless. So having that connection to the rest of the world and this bridge over is really important to me.
Well, great job. Thank you very much.